Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank y'all for joining me this evening on Somebody's Business. I have the beautiful Aisha Smith on here. She is here. She hit me up. She said, I want to come on in and I want to tell my story and share with the other women. And I told her, baby, come on in. You can come on here. Everybody deserves to come to tell their story. And like I tell a lot of people, the good thing about sitting on this platform and sharing your story with other women is that you get to heal yourself and let some things go while also giving another woman the courage to step up and tell their story or to put themselves in a different situation than the one that they're currently in by just seeing you. So thank y'all so much. Um, Look at that. You already somebody already showing you some love. Hi, Miss Aisha. Can I just say thank you for the courage that I know is taking to do this. I need this strength because I didn't have it to tell my own story. Thank you, Nate. That's exactly why. That's exactly why we do this. So I already told people your name was Aisha, but other than that, yeah, it's on Facebook too. But other than that, good. Hey, Yvette and Brenda. But other than that, introduce yourself to the people.
Um, my name is Aisha. I'm from originally Mobile, Alabama. Right now I currently reside between Georgia and North Carolina because I travel and work. Been here like what, 10 years? So that's pretty much who I
Hey,
am. And
Crystal. Okay. Hey, Chrissy. Good evening, everybody. So let's just get right on into it. So the guy that we talking about today, I'm gonna say this is allegedly. I gotta say allegedly if I say anything because anybody think I'm suing me for nothing crazy. But this is Aisha's story. Everything in this interview is from the experience, and this is her truth. This is her story. So let's get on into it, Aisha. So first of all, you met. Tell me where you met Charles. How did you
I
and
met
Charles meet?
uh his sister and I were good friends, and it's his stepsister, but that's his sister.
I don't know what happened to the picture. You still on here, Aisha, but there
Yeah,
you
I'm still on here.
go. Okay, there you go.
Okay. So his sister and I, we was at the
I don't know what kind of come on back in, Aisha. You still here?
his sister and I was friends. He was she was like, "That's my brother." I'm like, "I didn't even know you had a brother," because the brother that I knew that she had died. So she was like, "Yeah, that's my half brother." And like from the moment we met, like it was just us. Like all day it was
Let
us.
me tell you to do one. Aisha, hold up. Go out, go all the way off my screen, and then come back in because now we got a lag. So just go out and then come back in. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna give her time to go out and come back in because whatever was going on with her screen, it now has her lagging. And so we want the mouth to match the words in perfect timing. So I'm gonna give her a second to come back in here and she'll be back. But thank y'all so much for coming on here. Thank you, Tasha and Crystal and Janae. What's up, Janae? Thank you for coming on here today, Tiffany. Here she goes. She done came right on back in. See if she ready. I don't see her face yet.
Okay, that's
Okay.
better.
Yep, that's it. We there.
Okay, excuse me, y'all. But so yeah, like we spent the whole day together. We was at the parade, and then boom, the next thing I know, I was pregnant. But I was already like with somebody. But the guy that I was with was
So when you
my
met
old.
Charles, so when you met Charles, you was already pregnant.
No, I got pregnant like right when I met him.
Right when you met Charles.
Like
Okay.
I met him in February. By March, I was pregnant.
Okay.
But it wasn't his baby. Like it was the nigga that I was dealing with, child. My oldest son, daddy, and his name is Jadrian. But Jadrian was like older than me. Jadrian got me by like 8 years. So like Jadron and I was together. Like um, I used to work at the Exxon by the ports, and Jadron worked on the ports. And he used to come in the store all the time. Like he'll pay, get a pack of cigarettes, pay me with $100 bill, and be like, keep what you want for lunch for change. I have to change it. I'd be like, what if I want all of it? He'd be like, then it's yours. And he'll walk off. And he'll do this shit like every day. And I'm like, mm-mm. Like he kept on until he asked me for my phone number. And then he and I started dating. But he was older and he was married, but him and his wife was like separated and they had two kids together. And I was 23. I didn't have no kids. Like fresh out of college, I had went to school in Connecticut, moved back to Mobile, like, and it was me and Jadron. Once Jadron started, like, he wanted to tattoo my name on him, and like he just got real abusive, like overnight type shit. And then to the point where like his wife or his baby mama, she'll pull up to the house and she'll look, she'll be like, don't trade places with me, you too young. She was like, that's why he and I not together, and he's refusing to sign my divorce papers. And I'm like, well, why won't you sign the girl divorce papers? And he always feed me some bullshit why he didn't sign the divorce papers, and oh, it's in the egg. That's why she got me on child support. Whoop de woo. So he and I, we weren't in a really good space, and I met Charles, and me and Charles got along. But when I figured out like, shit, I'm 6 weeks pregnant with Harlem, I cut out all fucking communication with Charles. Period. So I met him, and then I stopped talking to him all in the same breath. Fast forward to November, I had Harlem on Thanksgiving. And when I had Harlem, like all the shit that I dealt with Jadron from like throughout my whole pregnancy, because Jadron was abusive. Like Jadron will take like and hit a bitch in the face with a 20-ounce bud like can, boom, bust me in my shit tight. Like Jadron was abusive. Like I'm talking about black my eye, bust my nose, don't give a fuck. And like I was 23 and I'm like, already he had two kids with his wife. They used to come over to the house. Then he had a baby with a girl that I went to high school with, April. So it was like April was like dead set on this nigga. Like April wanted to be with him. She wanted him to come with her and their baby. He kept saying, I don't want to be with her. I don't want to be with her. I want to be with you. Like I was just supposed to be, it was just like a sex thing, and I used to get money out of April. I don't want to be with April. Like, this is what he's telling me. And I'm like, this girl, like, so then she got pissed because he wouldn't come with her. Then she put him on child support. Um, and then even dad set him off. And he just like was being an asshole to me because of the shit he
So,
was.
so, so all the stuff that he was going through with outside of your relationship, you would be the punching bag for his frustration.
Yeah, type ordeal, correct.
Yeah.
But then you'll be like, I love you, I love you. Love don't hurt. Like, you're not like I'm talking about get mad at me type shit, like to the point where I've even like I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna fight back. Like he done took and like broke some glass, like broke the glass out and it cut my ankle. And like then he started to choke me. So I went upstairs to my homegirl house and I took a bottle and I mixed. I never forget I mixed some ammonia, some bleach, some fucking um what's the stuff? Some awesome. I put some mean green. I put all that shit in a bottle and shook it up and went in and swung it in that nigga face like boom. And he was like he was blind out of his right eye for a good little while. Like I've pepper sprayed and maced his ass and he'd have caught on fire. Like who the fuck wants to go through that? Like I shouldn't have to go through this. And like from the day I had our son, I was like, I cannot raise my son up in this type of environment to think that that shit is okay. Like that's a negative no go. So like Charles was like, fuck it. Like, I got you. So from the time Harlem was like 2 weeks old all the way to now, he's the only father that Harlem know because Harlem daddy got pissed and was like, well, if I can't be with you, I don't want nothing to do with the baby. That was like Harlem just turned 15 on 28. That was 15 years ago. We have not seen him. I don't know his phone number. I don't know how to contact him. Only thing I know is he's on child support. He went down there because his other baby mamas already had him on child support. So automatically my child went on. Um, he was like 48 grand in a hole before I received the payment. Harlem was like in 2018 I received my first payment. He's only court ordered to pay 245 a month. But because he's so back in arrears, he has to pay the 245 a month plus the
What's a
$50.
real?
plus the $50 towards the arrears. Correct. Georgia is a little bit more steep on child support than Alabama because I didn't receive my first payment until Georgia got involved. And the only reason why Georgia got involved because I had applied for Medicaid for my kids in Georgia, and by him signing the birth certificate, they pulled it up that oh he's wanted for child support, and but I have no contact with him point blank period. Like he knows nothing about Harlem. We just get 107 one week, 107 another week. We get $73 one week and $55 another week. That's all we know. That's what come on my chime from this man. Like he don't call. And Harlem's in middle school. I mean, Harlem's in high school. He's in the ninth grade. He's in the military school. Harlem has straight A's and B's. Like everybody who know Harlem knows Harlem is my good settled child. And I'm
So
like,
do you want Harlem to have a relationship with his father, or do you want his father to reach out to him?
to be honest with you, like I've never, and this is on my life, I've never said one bad thing about that man to Harlem. Never. And never will I. You're gonna form your own opinion of your parent. Like last year,
Mhm.
he has a brother that's 23 years old. His brother reached out to him and was like, let me tell you something. Our daddy, like, has never even been a father to me. Like that nigga called me on Friday when he get paid and be like, let's go sit at the bar and have a drink. He was like, that's more of my homeboy. That's He's never been a father. He was like, so how you don't know him, you're not missing out on nothing. And this is what his brother telling him, and you know your daddy, like y'all got the same name. So like to answer your question, like I have no problem because I'm not bitter, I'm not mad. Your relationship with your child. I just ask people, the relationship that we have, do not allow that to affect your relationship with these kids. And I've
Right.
always said that. Like I've even said that to my husband because my husband is the only fucking father that my kids know. My
So
youngest
wait,
son,
so hold up. Let's go one at a time. So with Jadrian, with Harlem's father,
mhm,
does he live in Mobile?
he does.
So would you at any point like for Harlem and Jadrian to meet at all?
I
Like you said,
would
taking your
like.
feelings out of it, taking
I
your
would.
feelings
I'm
out of
not.
it.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not opposed to that at all. But Jadrian is with his second baby mama, April. And April, for some reason, is like so threatened by me. She tried to act like she's not, but she really is because we all stood up in my living room and April like telling Jadrian, I want to be with you. And Jadrian like, well, I want to be with her. And I'm like, me? Oh no, I want to be with Charles. Like we sitting in a square in my living room. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is so weird and different. And like he was like, you know what? If you pick that nigga over me, then I don't want nothing to do with him. And that was it. That was
From that point
from
on, he decided that he want nothing else to do with his son.
he does not
So Jadrian, let me
acknowledge
just say this. So Jadrian, if you watching this show, right, what is his name? Jadrian Wood. Because somebody gonna know
J-
him.
Reed, Jadrian Reed.
Jadrian Reed. If one of y'all know who Jadrian Reed is, tell him in case he embarrassed and ashamed because he ain't seen his son in all these years, and just in case he don't know how to go to his son's mother and ask for forgiveness and ask his son for forgiveness. The year it's going to be 2024 of Jadrian Senior. It's about to get ready to be 2024. We're about to go into a new year, and it still ain't too late for you to try to develop some type of relationship with your son if you want to. As you can see, he has a mother and all that kind of stuff like that, but she hasn't shut the door on you. If you want to, you can still reach out to your son and make it right with your son. She ain't stunning you. So that's
Mm-mm.
that over there. You need to get over her and don't worry about her and worry about your son. It's been 15 years. Reach out to your son, bro. If anybody know who he is, tell him to come watch this video and to reach out to his baby mama to see about his son. Cause the door's still open. She has not shut that door. Now she could be bitter as fuck. 15 years, you could be so bitter and not
I'm
want this
not.
baby to see his son, his dad at all. But the fact that you still got the door open, sometimes men are embarrassed and they shame because they let so much time go by that they don't know how to come forward. And that what I'm just saying, if that's the case, bro, drop your pride and your ego. The door is still open. And while the door's still open, go try to have a relationship with your son. And he want to have a relationship with him that requires you to do more than sit at the bar and have a drink. Okay, so you end up meeting Charles. When you first get pregnant with Jadrian, you decide to go and be with Charles, and you and Drayton and y'all ain't got nothing to do with each other. As a matter of fact, he already has a wife and all that over there. And so you
Mm-hmm.
meet Charles. And when you meet Charles, how did you meet Charles?
Um, through his sister
Oh,
Paulette.
through his sister.
Paulette,
Through his sister. Okay, through his sister. Yeah,
yeah,
through his
his
sister.
sister, yeah, his sister
Okay.
Coco.
So as you and
Me,
Charles, as you and Charles, okay, Tiffany, as you and Charles develop a relationship and all of that, how was the relationship when y'all first got together?
like when we started out, like Charles had some shit on him. I don't know what it was, but Charles was like, I can't be a man for you and this baby with this worn out for my wrist. So he went and turned himself in. He did his little few months. He came home. He got a job and he helped me take care of Harlem. When we started back talking, like I stayed in Baltimore projects for like 6 months and I just could not, like I wasn't, the house my mama lived in is the house I was raised up in. So like I wasn't brought up in the projects, not to knock nobody who was, but I lived in Thomasville with my mama and my daddy. Me and my three sisters, we all had the same mama, daddy. Wasn't no outside kids. It was just us four.
Right.
So like my daddy raised me, and I'm just like, damn, I want to do these niggas know how lucky they is, because dad said my daddy want to die when I was 16. Y'all niggas will really have hell, because that man didn't play. And like our daddy, he like taught us shit like about a man. Like my daddy always said a man's job was to provide and protect. And see, the thing about Charles is, and I can't hold you, Key, I would never take this away from this man. The nigga is the great provider. If he's nothing else, he is an amazing provider. And he was always a great father to my kids. But you're a great father as long as we're a great wife and husband. As soon as I send you these divorce papers,
Okay,
it's like,
wait. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Okay, so look, let me pace the interview. Okay.
okay,
Okay. So okay, when you once you meet Charles and all the kind of stuff and y'all end up being together, how long was it before Charles showed you any signs of abuse?
like a year and a half.
So a year and a half into the relationship, what happened?
Like he just would like get mad about any fucking thing. Like he could leave and be like, "Oh, why when I came back you had a robe on? Oh, you had the table behind the door. You must have had a nigga." In him like the table wasn't even behind the door. Or if the table was behind the door, my nigga, it's because you sent me a text message threatening me, or you said something to make me feel uncomfortable. Is why I put the table behind the door. Like
Mhm.
I'm not with this. I'm not gonna pass the first lick. I'm not abusing the situation. I will ignore you. I have no problem with turning my back and going to sleep. Now we can talk about this when you want to be civilized, but that ain't the case with this nigga. Like that's not the case. Point blank. Period. So I
So
just
so your
had
so your first so your first so your first experience with abuse from him was when you put a table behind the door.
mhm. And we were living in South Bay apartments, and like I was pregnant by him, and I did not know I was pregnant. I just knew that my cycle hadn't came on, and like he and I had got into it, and he had bought some groceries in our house. So his daddy, he asked his daddy for a ride. His daddy brought him to my house, and when his daddy brought him to my house, he took all my clothes out of the clothes basket, took the clothes basket and dumped it on the floor, went in the refrigerator, and all the food he bought the day before he put it in the clothes basket. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm taking my fucking food. And I'm like, you're taking the food? Like, what? Are you serious? Like, we bought the food. Like, it's a whole child in this house. So why are you coming taking the food? And he was like, well, you can figure out how to feed him. And I'm like, the fuck? So I'm like, you're not taking the food. We're not, like, I'm not gonna let you do that one. No, because all the week, like, we've been coinciding, like, you're gonna get groceries and I'm gonna do the gas. Like, we split this up for a reason. I could have kept my money and got food. Like, I'm not gonna let you handle us like that. So my neighbor, like I set the basket in my neighbor house, and I was like, here, and I shut her door. And he and I was like getting into it. He went in the neighbor house to grab the basket, and when the girl tried to take the basket from her, he hit her in the eye. He hit the neighbor, and then like it was like a big mess because he hit my neighbor, And like she was like real pissed, and I was like, that is so fucked up. But we ended up um moving from over there because it kept being like a chain of events. Because after that incident happened, it was like no, and you can't even fault her. Like, of course she don't like you. Of course, every time she see you, nigga, you hear in her eye. And her nigga was sitting in there when this shit happened, and he was like, "Man, that's my homeboy. I'ma talk to him. He usually don't act like that. Man, he just popped your girl in the eye. What you mean? And you gonna sit here and allow this to happen? Like, what we talking about? Like,
But
y'all
what
got
happened? But what happened with you and him? What happened
like
with you?
it's just like he has a very serious anger problem. Like he has an anger problem. What don't happen with is he it's like it's always a chain of event. Like I said, like when we good, we good. But when it's bad, it's bad. And when it's ugly, it's goddamn ugly and it don't make no sense. Like he's a real definition. He's the poster child for narcissists. He is the like nobody can tell. That is the poster child for narcissists. Like he'll do shit like that, then he'll come back and want to talk and then try to make me think that he act that way because of something I did. Like everything always stem back to being my fault. Everything was my fault. I act the way I act because of you. So you have yourself to thank for this shit. And this is what he would tell me. And I'm like, how the fuck did I cause this? Like I was ignoring you, my nigga. So me ignoring you is the result of my nose being bust, my lip being bust, a black eye, or you didn't fucking bust the car window, or you do shit like you take the car keys and hide them so I can't go nowhere, knowing I gotta be to work and I'm a whole store manager type shit. Like these are the things you do, or you'll sit and lock me in a room while my kids in the next room, and you'll beat me with a belt if I don't do what you tell me to, or if I don't say what you want me to say. Then I'm punched in the mouth. I'm beat
Let
with a
me
belt.
let me ask you this, Aisha. When when he started cause damn, cause you made me want to punch his ass. So when he started abusing you at the point of hitting you with belts and um punching you in your face and in your and all the kind of stuff like that. At what point did you decide that enough was enough um from him? And how did you end up? And did you stay with him the whole 15 years or is
No, I didn't. No, I
okay?
didn't. That's
So
the
how
thing.
long did y'all actually stay together?
Like we were together like over the whole entire span, like we was like on and off, but we were more on than we were off. Like we moved to Savannah, Georgia in 2013 together because I had my son in '08 and my sister had her daughter in '09. When our kids were two, my sister lost her daughter. Like her daughter died. And that was my sister's only child. And like it fucked with her real bad. But my sister ended up moving to Jacksonville, Florida. If anybody know anything about Jacksonville, Jacksonville is like a 2 hour drive from Savannah. So at the time, like I had a Section 8 voucher, so I transferred my voucher to Savannah, and I would drive 2 hours to Savannah to go see my sister. And I'm like, okay, maybe a change would do us good, maybe. So we started like he went, and there was a church that was at the corner near the house that we were living in. Um, he went and he joined the church. So we went to the church under his membership. Me, him, Harlem. Like we went to church every Sunday. Like and then we ended up going to like because we were engaged to be married. And we went to I was like, we are definitely gonna have to go to counseling. And I never forget, Key. We were at the church on a Sunday while church was going on. Like we were in between, you know how they might have their early morning service and then that the big service at 11
Yeah.
o'clock. So in
Mhm.
between that, we went to pre-marriage counseling. He got up, he was like everything he's wanted to talk about was she be on social media talking to this nigga on Facebook and doing this and doing that. And the man looking at him and I'm looking at him and like I'm not saying nothing because everything you're accusing me of is a lie. I'm not even doing all the things that you're accusing me of. So what are you really doing? You're really
Mhm.
accusing me of the shit that you're doing. You see
Cause
what
he
I'm saying?
doing it.
Because you're doing it
Hmm.
exactly. And like I don't want to talk about this shit. Fuck this shit, cause ain't a motherfucking thing gonna change. So the man looked at me and was like,
That's in
"Can I
the
say?"
church.
Hmm? So the man looked at me and was like, "Baby, can I say something to you?" I said, "Yes." He said, "If you think that's gonna change, it's not." who he's showing you is who he is. It's not gonna change. And I'm like, that shit is so fucking embarrassing. So like I called the shit off. Like I called it off like his mama, like he'd have turned up on me at his mama house. Like he'd have turned up on his mama at his mama house. He'd have turned up on his sister. Like he his sister and I had her shit on swole, took
So
her
let me
out.
tell you something. That right there is an indication of a disrespectful ass man. Any man that'll talk to his mama and do his mama any kind of way, that's the nigga that you can't even deal with, period. Because if he can't respect the wound that he came out of, he
Exactly.
definitely not gonna respect somebody else's child.
Most definitely.
That's one of the first things that I'll be worried about. How you get along with your mom. Do you and your mama get along? What kind of relationship do you have with your mama? Because if you can't love your mama and treat your mama with respect, you definitely not gonna respect me at all.
Most definitely. And like his mama, like me and his mama was like this. When I say me and his mama was like real close, me and Miss Kitty was like close. But then his mama sat down. His mama talked to me one day and was like, let me tell you a story. His mama was like 1 year, she had people that stayed in Orange Grove and all his
Yeah,
daddy.
is this before marriage or after marriage?
Yeah, this is before marriage. Like his mama, she was like, she lived she was at somebody in their family stayed in Orange Grove, but she was like, before she had Charles, she was pregnant with a little girl. And she was like, Charles' daddy beat her so bad he beat the baby up out of her. And then she turned around and got pregnant with Charles. And then they had Charles, and then she got pregnant with Rachel, which is Charles' sister. Um, by their daddy. But his mama used to tell me like how abusive Mr. Charles was. Like she was like, Mr. Charles was abusive. She was like, one day he got mad because I had took the kids to the parade and we was arguing. She was like, I had Rachel on my hip and I was holding Charles' hand. She was like, and he was walking behind me, punching me in the head, slapping me in my face. She was like, all the way off the avenue, all the way to Bloodgood Street. She said when she took her kids upstairs in that house, she was like, she put her kids down and she came downstairs and wore his ass out. She was like, I had to pick up something and knock his ass the fuck out to let him know, keep your fucking hands off me. You're not gonna keep hitting me. She said, because that's just how he is. She was like, and I see so much of his daddy in him. She said, can I say something to you? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, you love him, and I know you love him. She said, and I know he love you too, but it's fucked up how he do you. She said, pick up something and knock him out. The only thing I'm asking you is do not kill my child. And I was like, okay. She was like, you're gonna have to let him know because I had to do the same thing to his daddy. So that let me know that that's a repeated behavior.
Yeah, that lets you know that that's something that he picked up from
Right, that shit
watching
bigger
his
than me.
mom go through that.
That shit bigger than me and you. Like real shit. Like it's bigger than me and you. If this man mama sitting here telling me that his daddy did her the same way, and she like, and finally she was like, I couldn't take no more, and I did. She was like, I was tired, and she was like,
It's
if
first of all,
Charles,
let me say this: it was her fault, and that she stayed there with him and allowed her child to watch that. It was the daddy fault that he was big and bold enough to do that shit in front of his goddamn children. But at the same time, it was Charles's choice, right? Because I'm pretty
correct,
sure when he watched you, when he punch you on your damn eye or hit you with a belt or whatever the hell he do, I'm pretty sure you weren't laughing. I'm pretty sure you was in pain and you was hurt by that. So that was also his choice. So after it was learned behavior, it became a choice of his to do that. He had to see his mama get in line once his dad had whooped her ass. I'm just saying. Because he wouldn't think that it was something that would work, even if it wasn't something that he saw work. You see what I'm saying? So he felt like then when it came to you, oh, you don't want to do what I tell you to do. I'm gonna get you in line too. This is the way that he chose to get you in line. But him, yeah, he did learn it from growing up with it, but it continued because he chose to go that route.
most definitely,
He chose to go
most
that route.
most fucking definitely. I totally wholeheartedly agree. Cause like one day him and his sister got into it about something. I don't even know what it was about, but he ended up like punching his sister. His sister shit was swole, like clothes, and he jumped. in his mama truck and drove her truck all the way from West Mobile all the way to Shawnee Street down the bay where his grandmama stayed. And he parked the truck, got out the truck, and walked to my house in the projects like nothing had happened. So like when the sister told me, I was like, he came down there and act like nothing happened. It was a girl that stayed in the front of the projects that he was dealing with, and she was an older girl, named Shannon. And him and Shannon, like Shannon came back. Like when I first moved in, and she called Charles sitting on my porch. She came in the back of the projects and was like screaming on my porch, like, nigga, you broke my motherfucking hand. She was like, he broke her hand. But what he said happened was he was like, him and her was arguing. And she was telling him, you gonna help me with the light bill. And he told her he wasn't giving her shit. Go ask that other nigga you fucking. And he said, she put her hand in his pocket. He twisted his pocket around and sat down real hard and yanked her hand. And that's how her hand broke. He was like, by her sticking her hand in his pocket. I don't know. I just know the girl hand was wrapped up and she was coming back down on the back road where I was living at, clowning about this nigga that broke her hand. So
Charles.
yeah, Charles. And he was like, I didn't break her, I broke her hand. He was like, if she got her hand broke, it's because she stuck her hand in my pocket trying to take my fucking money. Oh, bitch. She around here fucking every nigga in the pot. Do, like whatever, whatever. And I'm like, okay. Like, I was like, so how did her hand get broke? And I'm asking me like, nah, her hand wasn't broke. She must have went around there. Then he started like giving me all these different scenarios of what must have happened. He was like, not unless her hand got broke when she stuck her hand in my pocket and I twisted my pocket around and sat down and yanked her hand out of my pocket. She probably broke her hand like that. So you know what happened to her hand. Like,
Mm-hmm.
or be like, thank God he's never broke my hand. He's never broke my nothing. Like he didn't twist my arm back and told me he was gonna snap my arm out of place, or he didn't like took and did some like he was gonna break my finger type shit. Like I done had him like he didn't beat me, um, he done headbutt me, he's bust my lip, bust my nose, like beat me with belts. Like if I don't say what he want me to say, or if I don't engage, and I be like, bro, I gotta go to work 6 in the morning. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. You got me up. I don't give a fuck. We ain't going to sleep. We gonna be up. We gonna talk about this shit because you got me fucked up. And like he would literally force me to stay up. Like I couldn't.
Was he on drugs?
No, just smoking weed. And see, even my mom was like, he on coke, like because when we stayed in Navco for a good little while. We had a house on Navco before we moved to Georgia, and when we stayed on Navco, like my mama came, like the car, we had a Monte Carlo, and the car was like we had to get like some brakes on the car or something. So his daddy came to pick him up for work that morning. My mama came to pick me up. So like when my mama came, we was arguing. So my mama got out the car and was like, "Hey, it's too early in the morning. Y'all going to work? What you doing?" So he was like, "Fuck that shit and fuck your daughter," and he slammed the door. And I was like, I opened the door. I was like, "Mama, don't let him go nowhere. He got my keys." So my mama was like, "Give my daughter her keys." So he was like, "What you said, bitch?" And he pushed, like he kind of pushed past my mama, and we started fighting through the door. So my mama was trying to like get him up off her to the point where my mama pulled her gun on him, like, bruh, I'm not gonna play you with you. Like this is my child. And his daddy was sitting in the truck. His daddy finally got out the truck and was like, "Come on here, boy. Come on here, boy.
So his
Stop."
daddy
Like,
was sitting there watching him jump
mm-hmm,
on you.
mm-hmm.
But you can't expect nothing from his daddy because that's where he got it from.
Exactly. The daddy just come. You around here clowning. You gonna take your ass back to jail. You always going to fucking jail because he always go to jail because you don't know how to keep your hands to your fucking self. Like you always go to jail, but then when he go to jail, it's my fault. I only went to jail because you called the motherfucking police. Oh, police ass bitch. I went to jail. I'm like, bro, the old lady who house we was in front of that you jumped on me on called the fucking police. I didn't call the police. I didn't have to.
Let me ask you this. What was what what type of relationship do he have with your children? Answer that first. And then answer me what was the final straw that made you be like, I'm not dealing with this motherfucker no more. Cause you went through a lot. And let me ask you
Um,
this, because I got so much. What made you stay with him and go through that? Because if you were my friend, I would want to. What?
listen,
What made you stay?
listen. I say the only thing that that always like brought us back together, like, is because his relationship with these kids, and like I said, he's a great provider. And when we good, we good. But when it's bad, it's bad. And it's like he was a good father to these kids. Like, I mean, Christmas, birthdays, like I'm talking about, oh, you need a new car. I know you need a new car because you and the kids got to get the A and B. Buy me a car. Everything. Like he was a excellent provider, and he helped me take care of home. So I
And you
can
know
really.
what? And that's the thing. And that's the thing about him. He feels like because he was an excellent provider and he gave you everything that you wanted, that he could treat you in a kind of motherfucking way. Like it, you have it's certain men like that. They feel like I'm giving you everything. You ain't got to want for shit. I'm providing this. I'm doing right for the kids. I'm buying you this. I'm buying you that. And since I'm doing that, you should just shut up and do what I say.
Like he was, like I said, he was a great
Yeah,
provider.
Jacoria, that's exactly what that is. A form of control. And that's definitely narcissistic behavior. It's like I treat you like shit. Then I go and then you complain about it, you get mad about it. Then we make it okay. And then since you made a big y'all got into it, then he go and he buy you something nice, which brings you back and make you get back to that feeling of. But he like what you're saying. But he's such a good provider. I don't have to want nothing. He's such a good father. He this, and that. And then you in your head look at it like, okay, he just putting his hands on me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I might have to go through a little abuse or whatever, but it's a whole list of shit that he doing right. But at some point, which I'm glad that you got to that point, which we're gonna get to how you got to that point. But at some point you realize that yeah, you might be doing a whole lot of this shit over here, but for my peace of mind and my emotional health
Let's
and
get
my
right.
mental health and all of that shit, it ain't worth none of this shit that you over here doing because in the midst of you doing all this shit right here, I done lost me. I'm being beat up. So what was the moment that you got that was there that for you that was just like, you know what? Fuck these kids. Y'all gonna be able to see y'all daddy, but I can no longer be with your daddy in order to give you this family structure. I gotta now think about myself. What happened that made you
Um,
get to that
let's back up a little bit. Let's step back like two
point? Okay.
steps. So, um, like I said, so of course the abuse started in Mobile. We
Mm-hmm.
moved to Georgia. Shit supposed to got better. Um, shit didn't get no better. The whole time he had been talking to a girl that he was dealing with in Augusta, Georgia.
Mm.
Um, his cousin was married to the girl cousin. So like that's how he knew her. And he had been
Is
talking
that
to
is
her.
that why y'all ended up moving to Savannah?
No, we moved to Savannah to be closer to my sister, the one that we
Oh,
were
okay.
her
Okay.
baby died.
Okay.
She was in
Okay.
Jacksonville. But then
Okay.
after
Okay.
my first year here, she hauled ass back to Mobile. But see the thing about it is I had already switched my Section 8 voucher. I had found me a job. He had a job. Like we had already planted ourselves here. So
Okay.
like after his mother and I, we had the conversation. His mother was like, "Pick up something, hurt him, just don't kill him." And I'm like, "Okay, cool beans." So I went in, I purchased me a firearm because
Oh
I
yeah.
had a problem with my neighbors. At the time, like he had left the key in the door one night, and then the neighbors got the keys and took the keys and gave them to somebody, and they stole my car. So it was like a big mess. So I had bought me a firearm, um, because I was going through that. Never intense on using it for him, but one day, the car had acted up. Like he know how to work on cars real good. So the car had acted up. I called him. He answered the phone. So I called him. I'm like, when he did answer the phone, I'm like, listen, I'm not far. I'm like 10 minutes away from the house. And the car is like flicking up on me. So he was like, can you make it home? I was like, I don't think I could make it home. He was like, well, park it in their parking lot and I'm coming. But then, like, I caught me a ride home. And I'm like, maybe we can Uber back up there. When I got home, he was like, "Why the fuck you at home? Like, why the fuck you didn't stay with the car? So you just take it upon yourself to do shit the way you want to do it, and it's fuck what I say. That's
He
the
really think
motherfucking
he your
problem.
daddy, cause that's what he sound like. That's like this sound like what I tell my kids when they want to do what they want to do.
That's the motherfucking problem. You want to be the man. You want to lead. You don't want to follow. That's your problem. I'm like, how the fuck is that my problem? I don't want to be outside with the car. Are you crazy? If I caught a ride home. Well, if you caught a ride home, how come the fuck they couldn't help you got the car home? They're not mechanics. You can go look at the car. That's your thing. Like, what do you mean? Like, so you rather me sat with the car? So like we argue about this shit, and we got into a fight. And I pulled my gun, and he tried to take the gun from me, and I shot him through the hand. And when I shot him through the hand, he jumped back, and I shot him in the shoulder, and he ran. So I called the police. I called the police. So the police came. Police asked me what happened. They could see where he grabbed me because I'm not that dark, so they could see where he grabbed me and shit. And I'm telling the police what the fuck happened. The kids can vouch for what happened. Man, the police, I gave them my fucking gun, and I went in and got in my bed. So the police was like, they found him bleeding out like a mile and a half away from the house up under a bridge. And they took him to the hospital. They gave him some oxycodones. They wrapped his hand up. They did whatever to his shoulder. Gave him some pain meds. He came and laid back in the bed. I said, the fuck up. For like 3 days straight, I wouldn't go to sleep because I'm like, how can you come lay in the bed with me and I done shot you twice? Like I done
So
shot you in
you
your
was
hand.
waiting, you was waiting for him to do something to you because the small shit you do set him the fuck off. So you know if you shot him, there was gonna be some consequences in behind. At least that's what you thought.
Oh, sit down. But like, he just like, girl, it was just like, it blew up. So like when it blew up, I was like, I can't do this. You got to get the fuck on. So his daddy bought him a plane ticket, bought him a bus ticket for him to come back to Mobile. My right hand guard, then nigga caught the bus to Mobile. The next day, caught the bus right back to motherfucking Savannah, Georgia. Caught the bus right back. So like, um, at the time, the weed man, me and the weed man, like we was cool. Like the dude that we would get weed from, like he and I, we had ended up being like this, like we would talk. But see, he had confided some stuff in that man that to this day he will not tell me. And I don't ask because I get it, whatever. But he had told he had some private conversations with him about the dirt that he was doing, not knowing the whole time this nigga plotting up on you to take your girl. Y'all ain't friends. You're not from here. You weren't shooting in the gym with these niggas. You don't know these folks. Like,
Mhm.
come on. You right here let your guard down. And the boy asked me one day, was like, can I take you out for drinks? I was like, sure can. And he took me out, and that was it. Like, you went to Augusta with the girl that you was like communicating with, and I started like dipping and dabbing with the motherfucking weed man. Like, I mean, that's what it was. I mean, that was, but then we got along so good, like to the point where like this man had his own shit going on, like, but he was like, we gonna like fuck that nigga, like we ain't gotta be. He was like, I'm gonna help you do whatever, and like I ended up getting pregnant by him, and that's Elliot daddy. Um, he and I, we was cool, but then he ended up going to prison. So that's like he and I, we're not in a bad place at all. His daddy, like he called from jail, even though he in jail, that nigga still cash out. He send me shit for Elliot, you know what I'm saying? Like he do what he can even behind bars. Like there is no bad blood. Me and my baby daddy are like, that's my dog for real. Like my second baby daddy, I fucks with him like for the rest of my life because it's no issue with us co-parenting. And even with him being incarcerated, he still do whatever he can for his child.
Right.
So there's no bad blood with us, period. But he's like real upset with me about me marrying Charles. Like he do not like that at all because he don't like Charles because he feel like Charles is the reason why his kids got took. Um, so
So with
like,
the so that right there, the kids got to. So when you ended up having to shoot Charles' ass,
but that was the first time. Key, hold up. I shot Charles 2014, 2016, 2018. Every 2 years I shot him. 2016, we had moved into a separate house. Like after I had Elliot, Elliot was a little baby. He moved from Augusta back to Georgia with me, and the girl was calling. The girl Keisha, she was calling.
okay. So at this point, after you had your homeboy, the weed man, baby, you and
Hmm.
he was in prison, and you and Charles now y'all done got back together.
Yeah. So after he
Okay.
went to prison, yeah, we got back together.
Okay.
So we were back together. So Charles, let me see what happened. Yeah, so me and him, we was together. He then once he went to prison, like in 2016, he went to prison when I was 6 months pregnant with Elliot. So he went to prison, and then it was just like me by myself. So he was like, "I'm gonna come home and help you with the boys." So he moved back. He moved back from Augusta, and he moved to Savannah with me. Okay, cool beans. Back to Savannah. Um, and I ended up one night we got into it about something, and my neighbor was sitting across the street on the porch, and I was sitting in the car, and I was like, I'm not about to engage because I don't like to argue, because he if once I see red, that's it, and I'm not gonna stop. Somebody gonna bleed me, you, somebody, and I don't like to get to that point. So like I was sitting in the car ignoring him. He took and kicked my car door and dented it all the way in, kicked it, boom, kicked it again, boom. So I opened my car door and I saw that nigga had dent my door. I took my gun from under my seat and I shot him in the calf. Okay, so he went and got that checked out. Told the people he know who shot him, and came back in the house and laid down. That was 2006. No, he moved out and he stayed with one of his roommates. Um, One of his coworkers. They were roommates type shit. So then in 2018, like he ended up coming back, and then when he came back in 2018, like we had got into it so bad, like before, like the police then caught him taking my shit out the house, like burning it up. And then they stopped asking, like, what are you burning? And he like, fuck you, don't worry about what the fuck I'm burning. So now they didn't hit the body cam, jumped out, and they didn't put you in handcuffs to figure out you burning up my shit. So now you done called an arson charge, you done called a cruelty to children because kids live in the house. Like, even though the kids went home, like Georgia didn't play with him. So the DA was like, I tell you what, she was like, I don't like him. He got a nasty attitude. She was like, I'm gonna put him on probation for 10 years and I'm gonna ban him from the county. Now, the way Georgia operate is they can ban everything is broke up in counties. You know how they got Clay
Mm-hmm.
County, DeKalb
Mm-hmm.
County. Okay, so Chatham County is Savannah. So they banned him from Chatham County. They was like, you're banned. If you're caught here, you will automatically be arrested because you're banned. We don't want you in our county, period.
Damn.
Go home. She was like, and I promise you, he gonna fuck up. She said, this shit set up for failure. That's what the DA told me. She said it's set up for failure, and I don't give a fuck because I don't like him. She was like, watch how it work out. He was on papers for 10 years. My right hand to God key. They sent that nigga to Alabama. That nigga came right back and violated in the county, in the fucking county that you're
And
banned.
so what happened when he violated?
When he violated, they locked him back up and they let him back out and was like, "Go home. You're banned from the county." He didn't go home. He came to my house. Instead of him going to Alabama. So he came back, and then he ended up moving and with another one of his co-workers, and they was roommates. But then something happened where they ended up losing the little two-bedroom that they was in, and then he came back to my house, and I was like, "Lord, you're not gonna be able to stay here. Like we don't, like we're not gonna do this." So like one day, because I used to be a store manager at Dollar General. So my baby mama Tracy, like we were all at the house, like, cause I had took some orders that year. I said I was gonna make Easter baskets. So like we was like playing. He was like came in the house pissed. Oh, you ain't cook. I was like, I'm ordering food. You don't see all these people over here? I was like, I'm literally ordering food. So like we started arguing or whatever, and I called. I'm like, listen, it's already a no contact order between us. I had went like 2 weeks prior and filed a no contact, like a protection order. So I'm like, it's a no contact order between us. I'm not about to do this with you. Um,
Right.
he could have. I called the police first time. The police was like, "We're not getting involved. This is a civil matter." How is it civil matter? First of all, I'm telling you, he's banned from the county. He's not even supposed to be in this county. Then I have a protection order, like I'm showing you. Here's the paper. Like, here's the paper, sir. I have a protection order that says he is not supposed to be nowhere near me. Oh, they weren't trying to hear it. Oh, it's a civil order. Oh, you got to take him to court. All right, cool beans. No. So once we they did that, I called him out the second time when he came back clowning. So Tracy was like, "Baby mama, you want me to stay?" I was like, "No, I don't want you to stay." I was like, "You can go." I was like, "Seriously, you ain't gotta stay. You can go because I'm not about to do this." Um Tracy was like, all right, Tracy left. And like the third time he came back and the police came and it was shift change and they was like, if we already heard y'all been doing this the whole shift. I said, I'm not doing that. I'm trying to make y'all do y'all fucking job. Make him leave. The man said, if I come back, somebody going to jail. I said, if you come back on my mama, somebody going to jail and we going to the hospital because I'm not about to keep doing this. Like I'm getting aggravated and I'm getting tired. And I feel like y'all want something to happen. I was like, and y'all not protecting me. Your job is to provide and protect. And that's like, I mean, to protect and serve, and you're not protecting and serving, bitch. I'm sitting here telling you that this man has no contact order and he's banned from the county. Those are two negative things. Like once I
Right.
said that and you ran that, we shouldn't have went nowhere past that because he done violated. Y'all didn't do
Right.
y'all job. They left him now. I had just had a bed delivered to my house. He took the box springs and threw them on the floor, and A-Town stumped them bitches. Broke the motherfucking bed springs. I mean, A-Town stumped them bitches. No, won't nobody lay on these bitches. And I was like, motherfucker. So, like, we started tussling, but when we started tussling, um, he ended up, he was like, bitch, and he grabbed me. And when he grabbed me, I fell to the floor. And I grabbed my gun from under the bed. And when he tried to run, I shot him. And I shot him in his femur. Anybody who knows, they say your femur is the strongest bone in your body. The police never left. They went and parked on the side of my house. When they heard the gunshots, they ran back up. I took the clip out, took the one out the head, put that bitch on the motherfucking bed. I said, that a gun go? They was like, put your hands behind your back. I was like, what? So they put me under arrest, took me to the cop car. And he was on the porch screaming and hollering, talking about, you ain't had to do this. Yeah, you shot me.
But he wasn't saying it all the time. He put his hands on you.
Girl, when they carried me out of handcuffs, I turned around and spit on that bitch. I said, bitch, I should have headshot you. I should have killed you. Because no other time that, like, I done shot you in self-defense. These people don't fingerprint me. They don't take me in for question. These people just take my gun and tell me, have a good night. This time, no, ma'am. The people locked me up. And by me not being from Georgia and me not having family in Georgia,
They took the kid.
they took the kids. So the next day, my mama was like, I have three sisters. All three of my sisters live in Alabama. So my mama was like, Lisa, I'm going to give all y'all some money. That's y'all sister. Like, when I'm dead and gone, y'all, all y'all got. Y'all go see about y'all sister. My first oldest sister, she like in her 50s. She has no kids, no job. She get like a SSI check every month. My second oldest sister is the one who her daughter passed. Like she's with the sheriff office. Um, she got her shit going on with that. And then my baby sister, like, she's always in school and like she's got her master's degree. She's like head of human resources. Like and she had her own child. So like at the time, like everybody had stuff going on except for my oldest sister. So they was like, can we just take the kids back to Alabama? So they was like, unfortunately, no, Alabama has a backlog. And y'all not gonna be able to take the kids to Alabama. The kids gonna have to stay in Georgia. Okay, the kids got to stay in Georgia. They sent my kids to Pooler, Georgia, with some people, and something happened to where the people already had like a trip planned to Disney World, and the lady oldest daughter was pissed because she couldn't go because she had to stay back with the new foster kids, and she poured hot water all over my 1 year old feet. So they removed my kids from the household. My sister
Oh,
stayed.
hell no.
Yeah, my oldest sister stayed in my house for 30 days. So the deal was if you stay for 30 days and go get your ID, that's you establishing residency in Georgia.
Mhm.
She stayed in the house for 30 days, went and got her ID, established residency in Georgia. Girl, when I got out of jail, when I say when I got out of jail, girl, my sister had like my income tax money had hit. I had just had my inventory at the store. I had a $9,000 bonus that hit my card. That I couldn't even spend. Like my last two paychecks that hit my card. Like I was sitting on money. Like I paid for me a attorney for my sale because I could afford it. Um, I was still paying my rent. Like I was on Section 8, so I'm like, I'm trying to. This shit was in the news. Like I still like, even though I'm on Section 8, Section 8 was only paying $14 on my rent. The rest of my rent was all me. So I had to pay my rent. Um, so when I got out of jail, I reported to Section 8 that I wasn't working, but I never told them that I went to jail. Thank God they didn't find out. So my rent went to zero. So like social service, here it's called defects. So defects was like, listen, um, you can't go home to your kids. Right now, you have a cruelty to children charge on your record, and we have to make sure that you're psychiatrically evaluated and that you're psychiatrically cleared to be around your kids. So I'm like, okay, cool. So that means they was like, but we're not gonna help. You have to pay your rent. You have to pay your all your bills. You have to take care of your kids. You have to take care of
When,
everything.
how long was you in jail when you was in there?
I was in there for like a month and a half.
Okay.
So like a month and a half, I stayed, and then I got in trouble as soon as I got there. So I was on lockdown the entire time I was there. So my roommate would like go out and use the phone and call my mom and them and shit like that. And that's how I had communication with everybody. And she was like, she's really worried about her kids. Like my my high blood pressure was like through the roof. They had to like give me high blood pressure medicine, anxiety medicine, because like I was in that bitch losing it, like losing it about my kids.
Right.
um and so when we went to custody hearing, they brought my baby daddy. They called Jadron to get Harlem. Jadron would not respond to any of the mail. Like they was like, we need you to get your son. The mother is incarcerated. Baby Jadron had an attorney and everything. Them people had Jadron as a no response. He wouldn't respond. He wouldn't come get Harlem. He let Harlem go in the system. Jadron allowed his son to go in the system. And you have rights to him because we did a paternity test. So
Right.
paternity has been established. You signed the birth certificate. You know he yours. Like you know
Right.
he yours. Like these are things you know, but
Slow
he
down.
so Elliot daddy was in prison already. So like they brought him down and Elliot daddy, like we was both in a cell side by side talking to each other through the wall. He was like, yo, me and you both can't be in here. You gotta get out. Like I already got kids in the system because my baby daddy got a baby mama um that he has two kids with. Like she had a set of triplets and one of the triplets died. And like it's two twins left. And when they did a DNA test on the twins, only one of them belonged to my baby daddy. So like, you
Oh,
know,
okay. So it was one of them situations. Yeah, they happen.
most definitely, yeah. And then
Yeah.
he knew the little girl was his. Like the little girl was his, and then the oldest boy was like two when he met their mom, so he knew that one wasn't his. So like with all that, you know, he was like, "Listen, I already got kids. Like they took them kids, and his mother has custody of them kids, but their mother didn't fight to get them back." And he was like, "I can't go through that. Like you got to get on your shit and get out and get my son. I can't go through this. He got my name. You gotta get out." And I'm like, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna get my kids. I'm not one of them, like point blank period. So like when I got out, like I was running around doing ends and all jobs. Um, I had a friend that stayed in Mobile, Carlisha. Like I could call, like Carlisha been my friend for over 20 some years, and I will forever love her and her mother. Like I called Carlisha. I'm like, Carlisha, I'm trying to get my shit together. Like even when I got the kids, like because let's back up. My oldest sister stayed in my house. She got the kids. And me and my older sister, we do not get along. We like water and oil. We don't mix. Um, Me and her, we got into it the whole time. Come to find out, my sister was calling every day, reporting me to social service. Like she got mad because I went into my bank account and I saw where my sister had been stealing my money when I was in jail. Like you around here going getting hotel rooms in South Carolina, like going to lay up with niggas and everything on my dime. You using my car, my money, everything. So my baby mama was like, Tracy was like, I'm telling y'all, when Isha get out of jail and Isha get to that phone, y'all gonna have hell. When I got to my phone, Tracy already knew what time it was because Tracy know how I operate. Like, I went to my phone and I'm like, bro, who the fuck went and spent this, that? She like, oh, I'm gonna pay your money back. Like, I'm like, nah, bro. Like, how you just spending my money while I'm in jail? Like, come on now. But you thought I was never getting out? Come on, be for real. Like, so I'm having to pay my car note, pay my car insurance, pay my on top of I had to have 6 clean drug screens, an adequate place to stay, a steady job. I had to take anger management classes, domestic violence classes, parenting classes. I had to be psychiatrically cleared by a doctor to say that I can get my kids back. This was my case plan. This was my case plan. These people had it where I could only see my kids every other weekend for 3 hours unsupervised supervised visitations. It had to be supervised. Like you don't know how many times I done went to go like when like I done went to visitation to see my kids and they be like, oh, the man said he can meet you at the mall for 3 hours, and then like I'll take my baby mama with me. So long as my baby mama with me, that's supervised. That's some another person I be sitting there. She be like, what's wrong? I was like, we got a 3 hour window. Let's just take them and run. And she like, you should know. I'm like, no, fuck that. In 3 hours, you know how far I can get? Bro, I like, it took so much in me not to take my kids and run. I've never been without my kids. Like, you'll never understand. That's like somebody suffocating you. Like, you can't breathe. Like, you talking about some kids that got cut. Both of my kids got cut out of me. I didn't push. It wasn't a 1, 2, 3 push. Them kids got cut out of me. So this feel like somebody else ripping my kids away from me. Like, bitch, these my kids. You have no rights to them. And it was like I couldn't understand. Like, it was so bad. Like, that shit was fucking with my mental. I would pop up on the case, like the caseworkers would be with their key card in the morning trying to get in the door. I'd be on them hoes. Hey, they be like, this ain't that. Hold on, hold on. You can't come in here like, nah, bitch. Come on. We got to talk. Let's go. Like, I need my kids. Like, the guardian of light got tired of dealing with me. She was like, she went to court and was like, please give this lady her kids. She's going to complete her, bring her back to court in like 2 months, but give her her kids, please. Like, because I had to get a paid mouthpiece. Like, me and my sister got into it so bad. One day I went to the house. My sister had called social service, told social service, come get these kids. I'm going back to Mobile, Alabama. My bus leave in 2 hours. Come get them now. My sister, I'm talking about same mama, same daddy. My sister sent my kids back in the system. When she did that, they sent my kids to Augusta with two homosexual males who would pop my baby if he didn't call the other one mama, and they would lock him in the room with them at night and not let my oldest see what's going on. So when I say I am the way I am about my kids, a motherfucker got to understand the way I feel. Like, and Elliot was only 1 year old, and y'all locking him in the room talking about if you don't call him mama, I'm gonna pop you.
That's correct. It's sick.
That's crazy. And so, how about when they let me out of jail? They called Charles down there for questioning. They brought Charles back. Guess what they do? Lock him up because you was in the county after you was banned.
So 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 he get locked up when he come to Savannah to go to court.
Bitch, they wasn't even court. They called him down now to talk to him. And they arrested him in the midst of them talking to him
They
because
realized he supposed to be in the county.
most definitely because they realized that he was not supposed to be in the county. That's why they did
Now, when you was trying to tell them to get his ass
that.
before you shot him, they wouldn't kill him. But then when they call him down there, then they lock him up.
Hmm.
So okay, so with you and Charles, baby, let me tell you something. God damn, I shoot a bitch. Baby, I'm about to have me a drink when I get off here. Damn. With you and Charles. So now you have moved on with your life. You happily where you at. And right now, what is the status of you and Charles?
We talk like once a month. But when we talk, it's like I'm so adamant about my divorce papers because like I want you to understand, like, even after all of this, like, and like we was married, like we was like, okay, we gonna work through this, work through that, we gonna work through this, work through that. Um, I normally go home like for Mardi Gras and I go home for like Mother's Day to see my mama. And 1 year we were supposed to go home together, and he kept saying we gonna go home together, but we not gonna stay together. And I'm like, what's that? Don't make good sense because we always like get a room together because his folks don't like me because I shot him, and my folks don't like him because he abusive. So we always like got our own place to stay. So he was like, no, but come to find out, the whole time he had been talking to this girl, Amber, that stayed in Mobile, and she's so lost. Like she's so lost. Like the girl was married. The girl was married, and she had a child, and something happened to where she neglectfully had her child in the car, and she was mad going off on her husband, and she got into a car accident, and the baby was ejected from the car, and the baby died. Like they had the baby on life support, but they took her to jail for manslaughter because they charged her with that baby death because the baby died because she was neglectful. And then when she got out of jail, like she was like in Atlanta and the nigga was pimping her out and she had to run back to Mobile and shit like that. So him and her got in contact and he telling her whatever he telling her and she didn't just fell head over here. So she just told him, I'm ovulating this week. come on home, let's try to make a baby. We go home. He gets he slept with the girl and brought the girl back to Savannah. After a week of the girl being here, he sent the girl back and was like, I don't want to be with you. Like, I don't want to be with her. I want to be with you. Like, I'm like, you don't went down there and got her. What the fuck you mean? Like, no, we're not doing it. So, like, he was like, no, I'm sending her back. I don't want to be with her. Like, this was a mistake. So then, like, he sent her back and we got married. But then we was already planning on like getting married. But when we went and got married, like,
Aisha, let me stop you right here. It wasn't nothing about this relationship that said go get married. Absolutely. God was throwing them flags at your ass like, wow.
listen, what you say, and I ain't gonna hold you. Like, he really was, and he just was like, I don't want to be with nobody but you. Like, this, that, and the third. So like then next thing you know, like we had got into it one day, and he was like,
Let me ask you something. With you marrying him right after he had to went to Mobile and got some damn about it and sent the back, was a part of you that when you married him was a part of it because you wanted to prove that like anytime I want him, I can have him. Like he ain't going nowhere.
to be honest with you, yeah.
The big look, this the place right here
No,
to
I'm
be
gonna be
real.
honest with you,
We done
yeah.
been
Like,
through it all on this
let me
page
tell
right here.
you, I'm being honest with you, yeah, because I'm a Pisces, and we some old spiteful motherfuckers when we
And
have to be.
emotional, overly emotional. I never did another one.
Most
Like,
definitely. So like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, bitch, I got something for that. Like, you keep trying to say, oh, he love you, he wanna be with you, he wanna be with you. No, bitch, that ain't the case. Cause he then took me all the way to Augusta and married me. And like when he called his mom and told his mom he was married, his mom was like, why?
let me ask you,
Like,
what made you? What made you? Okay, besides that, what else made you
to be
marry him?
honest with you, the thing what made me is because we had started like trying for a different result, like with the counseling and doing better with communication and shit like that, because we had been through so much and just the history. And I'm like, and then he's such a good dad to the kids. And then like, to be honest with you, I think I married that man for stability more than anything. Because like I said, he's a great provider. Like, he's an
Right,
all
right, right.
like, he can work on cars. Like, the bitch could build you a house from nothing. Like, he's very resourceful, and he's very like a great, when I say great provider, but he's a terrible husband. And he's a horrible individual because, like I said, when you weigh out the good with the bad, like you said, Key, you weighed out that good with that bad. It's like that price ticket was too fucking high. I couldn't
Yeah.
afford it, and I got to put it back on the shelf. And he was like, "What you mean you got to put it back on the shelf?" So his thing was, we married because his daddy was married to a woman, and like when his daddy died, like they had to go through, um, like the lady to bury his daddy because like the lady had all the rights because they were still legally married. You know what I'm saying? So they couldn't bury the man without that motherfucking lady. Um, and that's just when I'm like, I don't want to be like that. It's like he acting like he want to live up to the way his daddy was, and no, like, mm-mm. Like, I've even told like the girl that got pregnant, the Amber girl, like she just said, she like, oh, he loved me, he loved me. Well, baby, prove it. If he loves you, make, if a nigga love you the way he say he do, he'll sign my
Let them
divorce,
sign them damn papers.
sign his papers. Like, what you want to do? Continue to sleep with somebody's husband? That girl told me, my right hand of God. That girl said, y'all hoes feel so, y'all let titles get y'all in y'all feelings, like y'all be delusional. She was like, that title of being a wife holds no weight. She was like, that piece
Tell
of
her,
paper means
tell her,
nothing.
tell her. It don't hold weight to people who don't respect the union that it is. It don't hold weight. If a man don't respect the fact that he married, of course it don't hold no weight. Of course, what weight can it possibly hold if he out there? But what does that make you?
Most definitely. And I'm like, what is you saying? Like, who raised you? Like, where is this coming? Like, who raised you? Like, you sound like a really simple minded individual right now. Cause who
Right.
raised you? And she was, oh, I ask God every day, like, why did he bless my womb with this child by Charles? Like, we don't even know if that's Charles' child. Like, you said and said you fucked this
Baby,
nigga
we
and
don't
this.
even care. Charles, the only thing we want to, Charles, can you please sign the papers?
Mm-hmm.
Aisha need for you to sign the papers So she could go on with her
You know what
life.
he told me? Tell the nigga you fucking to sign the papers. I said, which one? Oh, you don't like when I say shit like that? Then I become the bad. Say hello to the bad guy, bitch. After that particular time, I become the Joker and the Riddler around this motherfucker. Which one, bitch? Which one? Because I does me, and I does it very well. So what I'm saying is, which one do you want me to tell to sign the papers? They ain't about to do that. You sign. We not talking about who I'm dealing with. You sign. I don't think you really want a divorce. I went and paid to draw up the papers. I done served you 9 times. I don't know how many. Why you feel like that's not saying I want a divorce, but I definitely drew up the papers and I definitely served you 9 different times. I done sent them to Amber House. I done sent them to your job. I sent them to your grandmama house. I sent them at your sister house where all y'all piled up at. Like, what you mean? Because your mama, your sister, and your grandmama all live in a 2 bedroom. So my thing to that is this.
Charles Smith. Look, baby, sign these papers so Aisha can go on with her life. Sign these papers so she could go on with her life. Y'all don't have any biological children together, so you ain't got to worry about paying child support. Just do,
I
just
ain't
do.
asking for nothing because the nigga ain't got shit. I'm the breadwinner in the situation, always will be. It's just that even with me being a breadwinner, he always said, you keep your money or you just keep your money till if you see where I fall short, then you jump in. But I got
Right,
it.
right.
And that's what you're supposed to do as a man. But as soon as like now, like because I asked for the divorce, he be like, tell they daddy to do it. I ain't doing nothing else. I'm done playing daddy. I got my own child to look after. But then when he get married with Amber, then it's fuck Amber and her baby. Then you want to jump back over here to me and my boys. No, I'm not about to keep doing that with you.
No,
Just
no.
sign your
Whether he a
papers.
good provider or not, they're in and out. They having something to do with them. They ain't not having nothing to do with them. That ain't about shit. That's gonna mess with their mental. Cause he gonna be there, be there. If he not, just let him go on by his business.
Like I'm just like, what the fuck? Like I try to like not engage like with the shit. Like even when I told my best friend like Carlisha, I was like Carlisha, I mean Carlisha was like not happy about. She was like, "Bitch, why?" Like it was nothing happy about that conversation with my best friend. She was like, "Friend, why?" Like I could, you already know how I am and you know how I'm coming. Like why? Because like even when I got out of jail, like I had got a real good job opportunity in Atlanta, and like my mama done flaked on me. I'm like, Mom, I'm trying to get my shit together. I'm trying to run this money up real quick. Like I need help. And Carlisha and her mama was like, send me Harlem. Like they took my oldest son and I took the baby to Atlanta with me while I worked. Like, and I was from Chicago to Maryland to Atlanta, back to Savannah, back to New York. Like I was all over the place within like a 4 month span. And Carlisha and her mama, like, God rest Miss Pat soul, like they took care of my baby so I could get my shit together after I got out of jail. And then once I ran my money up and I got back home, like I got Harlem back. So like my friend was like, friend, no, this is like going all against what you trying to do. You were supposed to move forward without this nigga because you already done lost your kids. And it was like to the point where I had to realize like going through therapy and counseling, like my counselor said,
You
we
ain't
we
doing a
can't just
losing.
yeah, but at the same token, like my counselor said, at what point do you take ownership for this? And she's right. At what point do I hold myself accountable?
Accountable for
At
continuing
some
to
point,
go back.
I have to hold myself
Yeah,
accountable. I'm only going through this because I'm allowing myself to go through
yeah,
this. I don't have to go through this shit.
yeah.
I don't. Like, I really, really don't like, and it's the point where like it's cheaper if he would sign. Like if you would go ahead and sign, especially by you being in a different state, and let's just sign an uncontested divorce. Like, please, my nigga, I don't care who see this and know him. Please tell that man, let that girl go. Let me go. Cut these chains. I don't want to be here no more. Let them go. Let me go. Like for real, free me. And he be like, you don't. I get off probation in May. I get off probation in 2024. Like I can come home. Home? You don't even know where home is. You don't even know where I stay. Bro, I'm so far gone. You can't even get a telescope and find me. You be better off finding Waldo on a map before you find me. Like I'm so far gone and so far done with the situation. Like I'm good on you. Like I'm good
So
on you.
how
Like
long ago did you file for the divorce?
2 years.
Bro, come
20,
on, bro.
2021, I filed for the divorce. 2021, I filed
Charles,
for the
John,
divorce.
Charles, sign them papers.
And
Sign,
Amber,
sign them
Amber
papers.
Janae Winston, please like encourage him. And she's like, when I talk to her, I'm like, tell the niggas not like if you saying he love you and y'all are family, you, him, and the baby, why you won't sign my paper? She was like, oh, I can't make him do nothing he don't want to do. Girl, you is but I'm delusional. But I'm delusional. But you sleeping with somebody's husband because at the end of the day, he's still my husband. We're not legally separated. We're still married. We've never got a divorce. So at what point do like you got to make this shit make sense for me? Oh, he's not your husband. He is. I got the piece of paper up under my mattress that say he is. I mean, I don't want him to be. He could be anybody else in the world who's before I give a shit. I just want to be done.
Some of y'all that know what she could do, hit her up in her inbox. I can't tell y'all what state she in, but and you can ask her and hit her up in her inbox. And if y'all got something that y'all know that she could do or whatever, hit her up and let her know.
Most
Aisha,
definitely, because they most definitely like in Georgia. Georgia was telling me like, oh, because he's been in Alabama for so long, like I would have to go and file through Alabama or run it through the newspaper. But Alabama don't have the press register; they have it online now. Like they don't have an actual printout of a paper
okay, well shit, do that.
type ordeal. And then when I called down to Alabama courts, they give me the runaround too about like the whole process because the lady keep telling me you need to get an attorney, you need to get an attorney. But see here in Georgia, see what I did was here in Georgia they have an abandoned spouse law. Like I can
Mhm.
prove that we haven't lived together in over a year, and I could prove that I asked him to come home and he said no because I didn't see him a text and like come home and he said no. Cool beans, that was enough right there. So I didn't forward that to the court. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna summon us to court, and then he has to give me money a month to like pay for like my living expenses and shit like that because we still legal married. You just abandon your spouse. That nigga told me if they summon me to court, I'm not gonna come, and if they garnish my wages, I'm gonna quit my job. There's more than one way to make money.
That's fine. Let him quit the job because that's what anything that he can give you, any amount of money that he can give you, ain't worth your peace anyway.
Mm-mm. I'm
It
not.
ain't
It
worth
ain't even
your peace.
about the money. I'm thinking that would bully him into signing the papers. That boy told me, He was like, I'm just gonna quit my job. There's other ways
That's
to make
fine.
money.
You'll still better get your divorce because look at these comments. Look at these comments when you get off of here because they telling you exactly what you need to do through these comments because they live in Mobile. So is there anything else that you want to say to Charles or about this situation at all? First of all, I'm glad that you have left it. I'm glad that you done left the situation, Aisha. Don't nobody deserve to go through what you done been through just trying to be with a nigga. It's just too much, just too hard. So I'm glad that you finally got you a peace of mind and you ain't got to go through that shit no more.
Most definitely.
Cause
And that's like
the best feeling what a nigga don't realize when they done took you and they keep taking you through just drama, bullshit all the time. Eventually get to a point where it's just like when they leave, it's like, bro, thank you for leaving. Thank you for leaving. And sometimes you could be so in love with somebody till they have to leave you. They
most
they
definitely.
actually they actually have to leave you and you don't realize that it's the best thing they could have ever did for you was to leave you.
Most definitely.
So anything else you would like to say?
Um, just like when you tired, you know you tired. Like people can tell you leave, leave, leave. Like you know what I'm saying. People can tell you anything under the sun that they want to tell you, but until that person is actually tired,
Tired. Yep.
they have to
Yep.
be tired to
Hmm.
exit stage. Like take your bow, baby. You did a good run, but I'm out. I can't do this no more. Like it's gonna take you as a person, not what nobody tell you. You're gonna have to like mentally build yourself. But when you do, just look at it. Like look at it. Is it worth it? Like you walk around with your face bruised up and you losing shit. You can't gain. You can't move forward. Like he done told me like, oh. I done did so much better now I'm not around you. I done went to school. I done got my degree so I can go work on air conditioning. I'm glad. Like, I'm not mad about that. Kudos to you because maybe you can go be a better motherfucking man to somebody else's daughter.
Mhm.
But you got to close one chapter before you open another one because me and you, we have that ship has sailed, baby. And I ain't even at the dock looking for it to come in. I'm okay with that. Like, I've made peace with that situation and I like being who I am. I like casually dating different men. Like, I like talking to whoever the fuck I want to talk to on the phone. Like, I travel and work. I go city to city. I go state to state. I meet different people. Like, I keep in touch with someone. Some I don't. When I'm there, like, I might go on a date with someone, and then you won't talk to me no more. And I like that because that gives me way more sanity and a peace of mind than trying to be faithful to a motherfucker or say I do to a motherfucker who don't.
Right.
And that's just where I'm at with it. Like, you can judge and call me what you want. I don't mind, but like, I found that that works for me.
No,
Like,
I ain't nothing. Let me tell you something. I ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what? A lot of us women who like was in long term relationships or get with somebody young and stay with them so young, you don't even go through the whole dating process. So ain't nothing wrong with you dating and discovering what you like now and taking your time to see who worth you being around. And this time around, since you're older, you wiser, you can make healthy decisions for
most
you and
definitely.
for your children.
And it's
Um,
to the point now, like, where the kids don't ask for him, the kids don't ask to talk to him, and like, I'm glad, you know.
that
Oh,
means that means that they healed from it. When they stop needing him to be around and wanting him to be around and needing that means that they're moving on. So it's good that you've moved on. Now we need Charles. We need you to move on.
Carly, I can't help it, baby. That's my name, but we working on dropping it. But that's my best friend in the comments, Carly Hunt. She knows, like, it just
Hey,
be so.
Carly.
It's just so much that goes on, like, with this nigga. Like, when he good, but when he bad. But that's one person that always was like, friend, he is not the person for you. And like, Carlisha so straightforward, and then he'll try to make me feel like Carlisha wasn't my friend. And I'm like, I know damn well, like, this my friend, man. Carlisha been friends since middle school,
She the
goddamn it.
one. She was the one who was telling you the truth. And probably,
Right.
and probably one under the amen, the friend, the yes man friend, the one that was saying, when you act like you ain't know what was going on and you were blind, she was probably the one that was telling you what the fuck really was going on. And he and don't no man want that for a woman that he wants to control. It
Most
it, it,
definitely.
it does not benefit him at all for you to have a female friend that's seeing through the bullshit and risking the friendship with you and everything else to say, no friend, you look a stupid friend. No friend. Don't do that, friend. No friend. You don't deserve that. You deserve better. They never want you to have a friend like that.
Almost definitely not.
They don't never want you to have
Oh,
a friend like that.
because it was
and,
her
and
and her
thank you,
friend
Carlisha, for
Tissy.
still being her friend and being there. And being
Most
there and
definitely.
being honest with her. Cause that be the most part, being honest and saying, you know what, I risk the friendship. If you don't want to talk to me no more, friend, after this, oh well, but the shit that you going through and that he doing to you, I don't like that shit. This shit ain't right. And sometimes we could be so blind and don't care and be so in love, but thank God for friends like that.
Most definitely. And I'm talking about even when I moved, like, we moved, but that's when he caught me when I was my most vulnerable because he knew we moved 8 hours away from our families
And
and
why
he
you
was
why
all
you
our
think why you think he wanted to move 8 hours away from your family?
well,
Control.
at first he was booking on moving, but I wanted to be closer to my sister because my sister up and moved to Jacksonville and we were out here looking for my sister. My sister in Jacksonville, like, because my sister had she was grieving
You didn't
and
breathing.
she was grieving and like the dude that she was with, he was grieving. But he was grieving and on top of he had mental problems and he like snapped one day, like he snapped and like took the car and drove back to Detroit where he was and like he had a secret room in their house and it was just like a big chaotic mess where my sister was like, bruh, I got to go. Like, my sister dealing with a lot. She buried her only child. So it's like, I'm wanting to be close to my sister because I love my siblings. Even though me and that oldest girl, we don't get along. Period. Like my second oldest sister, they get like she tolerates her, but they're closer in age. Like y'all grew up together. Me and my baby sister, we grew up together, so we're closer. And like the oldest girl, my mom be like, "Y'all too much alike." No, no, fuck that. I don't like no. There's no way in hell I would have called social service and told them to come pick my nephews up because I'm so mad with my sister that I'm gonna call my other
Right.
sister and tell
Now
her buy me a
that's
ticket. I'm about to
dirty.
go home. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's
them
some
your
bullshit.
nephews, them kids ain't doing nothing to you. Like you gave my kids to some predators because any man who will lock my baby in a room with them at nighttime and pop him because he won't call the other man, he don't know to call
Yeah,
no
that's
man
crazy.
mama.
That's
All
it.
he know is me and my baby mama, like that he knows as a mother. He don't even know his biological daddy. So for you as a gay, like it just was so much. And then when I see them, he'll have my kids like connected to a leash. Like he was like, oh, she can't bite him. Like he snapped the chip out my son's cell phone and was like, I don't want you talking to your mother. I don't want you talking to her, period. Like they wouldn't let me talk to them throughout the week. Like I could literally only see my kids for 3 hours every other weekend. Like, and I would have to go to Augusta with the social worker. Like, but I went to my classes. I completed my parenting
I was
classes.
just
I
that's what I was
got,
just gonna say. That's what I was just gonna say. You did everything
I
that you had
did
to do to get your
everything.
children back. It's people that have had not had their children and been lost their children, and they've gone on and living their good old life. Ain't worried about their kids. You are an example of yeah, I fucked up and I ain't do it right. But when it came time for me, and I got my children took from me. When it came time for me doing what, and I got to commend you on it. That when it came time for you, you did some stupid shit. Aisha. You did some stupid shit. I would have been Carla. I would have been having a whole goddamn fit at the decisions and the choices that you made. But at the end of it all, when you lost it all, you did what you had to do to gain it back. And losing your children is losing it all. Fuck anything materialistic, all that ain't shit. But when you went and you did what you're supposed to do to get your children back, that showed what type of woman that you was, and it showed your character, and it showed that okay, yeah, I fucked up and I done did some dumb ass shit, and I might be some. You can call me some shit, but what you ain't gonna call me is a sorry ass man. So
Most definitely.
I commend you on that, and it's somebody that's gonna be on here. The Carla, we need more Carly's friends. We need more friends like Carla. Hopefully, somebody whoever has watched this interview today, hopefully y'all seen yourself, or you seen a friend, or hopefully you seen yourself if you're watching it. Hopefully, if anybody on here going through any type of domestic violence situation or relationship, hopefully you can see yourself, or you can look at what she went through and don't let it get that damn bad before you say I'm done. So I just want to tell you, Aisha, thank you so much for coming on here. I know you're supposed to be at work today, child. I ain't know. I didn't know. But
Listen, I didn't know they was gonna wear that late neither, but I mean,
I didn't even know you was an admin. But thank you for you. I know you had to be at work today,
thank you so
child, and all that kind of
much.
stuff. But I'm pretty sure she will understand that sometimes you need to do something for yourself, and this was for you. This
Most
wasn't about
definitely.
nobody else. This was about you, and this was for you. And as a woman, all women got to understand that. And if they don't, then oh well. But thank you so much for coming on here. I appreciate you for trusting my platform to tell your story because you could have went
Most
anywhere.
definitely.
You could have went anywhere else. You could have just went live on your own page. But I really appreciate y'all when y'all hit me up and you say, Key, I need to talk. I need to get that story out. Then let me know. And that makes me want to keep going and keep doing it. Because like y'all, my sisters and all that shit, and y'all trust me to come sit on my platform and be so vulnerable with me in front of so many people. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
no, thank you for having me.
And
And
let me
too, like I said, y'all, like it ain't worth it. If you get out, like if it's not worth it, I promise you. Like no amount of love, no amount of money, no amount of anything these niggas can offer you, will give you peace. And even too, like don't even if you with a nigga and you know like this nigga then did this to another female, like don't sit back and be like, okay, you love me, but you won't divorce her. Like I be trying to like plead with his baby, like with the baby mama, like Amber, like baby, make like Give him the ultimate. Oh, I'm not into giving people ultimatums. I shouldn't have to do that. Like he said, he's not gonna sign. He's not gonna sign, but he love me. Make that shit make sense. That's like you telling me the sky is fucking orange and I know it's blue. Like that don't make good sense.